It just doesn't. The feeling of being able to win, the feeling to be able to go through hardship, the feeling of being able to enjoy this moment with your teammates, with your family, being able to know that there's a lot of time, the amount of days that you stacked to be able to get to this moment, you know, you dream of it. And to being able to be in the finals is something that I didn't expect myself to be a part of for a very long time. So just being able to do this in my first year, I just want to be able to learn as much as I possibly can and grow as much as I possibly can.
Derek, what have you personally learned about yourself through this playoff run? I know you've been through a lot, and you talk a lot about how your teammates have been able to help you through that. What have you learned about yourself throughout this whole postseason run?
I feel like my mama always kind of said this, but my way is the hardest way. We're not gonna take the easy way out. We're not gonna cry if things are going our way or if it seems like everything's stacked against us. We just got to be able to huddle together as a family, being able to lean on each other. There's a lot of times where, it might seem like the world's against you, or it might seem like, you look in the mirror and you ain't seeing the same person. But whenever you come in here and you're able to smile with the teammates, being able to laugh with your teammates, being able to enjoy time with your teammates, it makes everything outside of the basketball world that much easier.
What is Tyson, JK,
What
Kyrie?
have you thought of Coach Kidd's stewardship, if you will, on this process? As your first NBA coach, so you don't have much to compare it to, but what's it been like for you playing for him?
I feel like he's been one of the best coaches I've ever had. You know, he's putting me in positions where, he's expecting me to fail. And even if I fail, he's going to leave me in there to learn. I feel like, his coaching style fits me very well. He's walking into the locker room and then asking, so what do we think? Being able to have a coach like that who's going to make the players speak, make the players talk to one another, and then say what he thinks is an amazing process. We're able to talk to one another about what we think we need to do together as a team. And then whenever the staff comes in, they bring in their own light, what they see from the court, because players and coaches see the game two different ways, and we're just able to help each other. I feel like Coach Kidd has definitely, there's been a lot of criticism on him, and I don't understand why. I feel like he's an amazing coach and an amazing person.
What are some of the ways that Tyson Chandler has helped you become the player you are today?
Being able to be mentally tough, being able to know that, I look at him and I see myself plus 20, 25 years. And seeing someone who has been in my position, who has been in this seat, who has played in the championship, who has gotten the championship, being able to guide me, it makes me that much more confident in who I am. Knowing that he has my back, he's confident in me, makes me want to go out on the court and just play with that much more aggression.
What does this Boston team holds differently as a threat compared to that of the Clippers, Thunder, and Timberwolves?
I feel like they're an amazing team. They've been on the top three teams in the league the entire year. They could shoot the shit out of the ball. 1 through 5, they're an amazing team. They can space the floor. They can get to the rim. They have a lot of weapons that they can use on the floor. So it's just going to be able to try to be able to understand when they're going to use their weapons and when we can try to use their weapon against them.
I'm sure you're familiar with the history of Kristaps here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the matchup with him and Al Horford as well?
It's basketball, man. The media is going to try to turn it into, they're either going to look at Kristoff, they're going to look at Kai, they're going to try to turn it into something. But we're going to go out there and just play. There's a lot of things a lot of tensions that's going on the floor, a lot of tensions that's going on in the locker room. But it doesn't matter to us. We're focused on going out there and getting 4 wins in a row. Not 4 wins in a row, but 4 wins, stack them, and being able to know that there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. There's going to be a lot of people questioning things. And we got to be able to stick together with positive talk and be able to have each other's back.
I think most of us have seen the photo of the team photo on the plane. What was that plane ride back like? Maybe some highlights or discussion.
It was an interesting plane ride back. It was very high spirits in the plane, but we were driving in the thunderstorm. We're able to just lean on each other. We're able to have fun, even in the moments where we're kind of like, we gonna make it back. But It was a great time. You know, everybody was leaning on each other. Everyone was talking to each other. You know, people in the front of the plane and people talking to the people in the back of the plane. So it was just everybody from the flight stewardess to the pilot. Everybody was happy, and we even had fans that were waiting out in the rain at 2, 3 in the morning. So being able to have people like that back you up just makes you want to go out there even harder.
Did you envision yourself having this kind of impact in your rookie year based on what you've done, and what was the vision that the staff had for you going into the season?
I don't think any of us expected this. I ain't expect this. My mom ain't expect this. Tyson ain't expect this. Jason Kidd ain't expect this. They expected me to come to the Dallas Mavericks and learn, and I feel like that's what I did. You know, I don't think they expected me to learn this much this quick, and I think I've been able to be very fortunate for them to put me in positions to learn. You know, there's been a lot of times where I was unsure of play calls, unsure of positions, unsure of different things, but I've been able to lean on my team. You know, they backed me up. They understand that I'm rookie. They understand that I haven't been in this situation before. But, you know, I'm going to fake it till I make it.
Perfect for the field in the Western Conference Finals. What do you attribute that to? What does that say about potential long term?
You know, I attribute that to I have an angel on my shoulder. You know, I feel like she helped me out there making my dunks and making my little hooks, some free throws, and just being able to just be a voice in the court. You know, I feel like I can definitely attribute that 16-16 for my mother.
I know Marquise doesn't play a lot, but talk about the leadership he had provided.
Man, I feel like, you know, every time you look in the court, you see Jason Kidd standing up and Keith's back talking to everybody on the floor, even the other team. It doesn't matter what's going on the floor. Keith's thinking about the next play, or the right lineup. And there's a lot of times where we can look at each other and we know if someone's having an off game. We know if someone ain't making some shots, we're gonna have to pick them up. And the first person to pick him up is Keith. You know, he's first person off the floor, first person to dab you up after making a good play, but he's the first person to pick you up if you make a bad play. Being able to have someone like that is amazing. You know, he's been in many different positions. He's been in many different teams. So he has a lot of different looks on what the NBA has. And I've definitely learned a lot from him, and he's taught me a lot.
Derek, how are you feeling from a health standpoint?
I'm great. Looking left, right. I'm great. You know, everyone's been asking for the past couple of days if I'm all right. You know, if I'm going to get hit in the head another 3-4 times, I'm still get back up and act like nothing happened.
Derek, are you surprised at the way it's almost like symbiotic relationship with you and Gafford and how that works? And when he was acquired, clearly you were starting.
Mm-hmm.
What was your feeling about that?
You know, I'm here to win games. I'm not here to care about how many points I put on the board, how many rebounds I put on the board, how many times I start in the game. And he's the same way. You know, I feel like we have a great 1-2 dynamic of picking each other up. No matter if I'm having a bad game, he's having a bad game, or if we're both having a good game, we're going to pick each other up no matter what's going on. You know, being able to have both of us coming out there, setting screens, getting lobs, throwing elbows, catching rebounds, makes our teammates trust us. Since we got the paint, they know that they got to lock down the three-point line and the perimeter. And if they don't, they're just going to send them to us. And having that trust of, okay, if we ain't got them, our bigs got them.
Did it work out even better maybe than you thought it would?
For sure. And I feel like me and Gafford's dynamic is amazing. You know, I feel like I look at him as an older brother. You know, I've leaned on him many times, understanding the different schemes in the game, understanding different points, when to make a push, when to be able to take care of the ball, and just understanding the flow of the game.
Derek, there's been a special group of kids that have shown you support this entire season.
Brittany Cohen, you know, she's an amazing teacher. I love everybody a part of that school, a part of that class.
You've talked so much about how much you care about the next generation, and I don't know if you've seen their videos on Twitter. I'm sure that you have, of when they're, reenacting your dunks or just following up with the game the next day. If you could just tell that class anything about the support that they've shown you this season, what would it be?
They know I love them. They know that for sure. You know, no matter if they had a lemonade stand, I drove like 45 minutes out, and I almost got there late. But I was just trying to make sure that I can do whatever I can to make an impact in a kid's life. Because, you know, I feel like whenever we're young, we have many dreams, we have many aspirations. And when we grow up, we lose those. You know, we lose sight of who we wanted to be, what dreams we had as a kid. And I feel like we should never lose those things. Those things kind of shape the person who you are, and they shape the future who you could be. So I'm just trying to be able to make sure that no matter if you're 5 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old, whatever you want to do, whoever you want to be, do your best to do it.
Derek, as you mentioned, Boston shoots a lot of threes. You know, they have a tough 5-out offense. How much progression do you think this defense has achieved guarding 5-out offenses?
It's come down to a lot of talk and trust, communication, and just trusting the next man behind you. You know, it's going to be a lot of rotations, a lot of scrambling going on, but I feel like we're going to be able to talk to each other. And even if we mess up, we're going to move on to the next play and learn. Because if we don't learn, then we shouldn't be here.
Derek, the trade deadline has been pointed to as a turning point for the season. With the talent in place, the pieces that came here, and then the investment on defense. But how does chemistry, how is that a key to the success that this team has going to the finals?
It has a lot. Understanding people's tempos, understanding what they like to do, what makes them uncomfortable, but being able to uplift your teammates because you know what spots to put them in, or you understand what rhythm they like to get into. It took me a little while to understand Kyrie and Lucas, but whenever PJ and Gaff here, it was like they just picked up the things that we were trying to do. They hopped right into the schemes we were running, and they fit like a perfect puzzle piece. So just being able to have that on the floor, off the floor, we're a close-knit family. You know, we always try to lean on one another, where we try to see one another and try to enjoy time with one another. And that's going to make us on the floor tighter and more of a team.
And what have you learned about yourself during this postseason?
Tough as nails, man. I don't care what name, what you do to me, what you throw at me. If I hit the ground, I'm going to get back up.
Derek, guarding Porzingis and Horford, obviously two floor-stretching bigs. What have you thought of your development, moving your feet in space and guarding on the perimeter this season?
You know, I feel like at the start of the season, it was a little shaky, and throughout the middle of the season, it was definitely a little shaky. But when it comes down to those key moments and we have to sit down and guard, I love it. I love being in those moments. Your adrenaline's pumping, your heart's pumping, and you just feel alive in those moments. Those moments where people try to break you down as a big, and you sitting in front of them, it kind of makes you chuckle because they look at you like, oh, he can move his feet. But, you know, it's definitely taken a long journey of being able to try to stay in front of people, especially people who are as talented as they are in the league.
What do you think is going to be your biggest challenge with facing the Celtics here starting later this week?
Being consistent. No matter if they're making a run, no matter if we're making a run, we got to be able to have our foot on the gas. No matter what's going on the floor, no matter what's going on and what they say in the stands, we got to be able to be poised, be focused, and execute.
How much do you guys relish the underdog role, because you were not favored in the three previous series, you're not favored this series?
You know, I feel like we feel like there's always someone pointing down on us, and we're like, okay, cool. You know, you're going to say that about us. Watch what we about to do next. And we've kind of just taken that to heart. You know, if people are going to just label us as underdogs, overrated, or we can't get things done, we just kind of shrug our shoulders. You know, I feel like we've all dealt with a lot of adversity in our life, a lot of people telling us we can't, and I feel like that drives us. Whenever people tell us we can't, we want to do it a little bit more.
I think a lot of people forget that when the playoffs started, you hadn't played in 3 weeks.
Yeah, actually, yep.
And so your first game back, you were talking about just getting used to the playoffs and getting your win back. At what point in the playoffs did you kind of figure out, hey man, I can do this, I can embrace this?
That's hard. I feel like there's different waves. You know, it's an up and down type of mentality. You know, there's a lot of things that's going to go on. You might have some games where you're perfect from the floor, and you might have games where you're 0 for 4. But it really comes down to whenever you're making a defensive possession and you get a defensive stop and you push another offensive end and you see everybody on your team take off at the same time. When you're in that same light together, at that point, it doesn't matter what is going on the court. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter how you're doing it all. When you're going out there and you feel your teammates giving it their all, you just want to give it your all. So I feel like it was around like the Clippers series when we were in LA, and I think we got that first win whenever I felt my team riding behind me every step without a hitch. That's how I knew we were something special.
You had a chance to watch him before he became his teammate. And one thing we constantly hear here is that he's not a great athlete. And they play with him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to this idea that he's not a great athlete?
He can hoop. He can hoop. He might not be able to windmill, but you know, he's one of the best players in the world. And being able to say that about somebody is crazy. Knowing people are going to game plan for him, people are going to double him, and he's still going to pick you apart. Being able to have someone on the team like that is amazing, and there's nothing you can compare that to.
Last question, I guess.
Okay.
There's a video of you circulating from All-Star Weekend interviewing Jason Tatum. You know,
Yep.
he's giving you advice on just your rookie season, and now you're facing him in the Celtics in the finals. Just what is that moment like for you, especially the Duke connection?
Full circle. You know, I feel like I've seen him whenever I was back in college, seen him before college, and now going up against him he's an amazing player. They're an amazing team. It gives me, I don't even know what the words to say. It gives me like pins and needles because I'm excited. Being able to go up against such a great team and being able to I know I'm going to fail, but being able to adapt to the things that I'm failing is something I'm looking forward to. Something I'm looking forward to is just going out there, making a mistake, learning, and then correcting that mistake in front of people.
And lastly, you just mentioned failure a lot as like a positive thing. So, what's your definition of success?
Definition of success. Not being the same person you were yesterday. Being able to learn, it might just be one little thing, just being able to change one thing in your life. I feel like that's the slow progression that everybody needs. Thank you.
Take us through the lob dunk. Why are they so successful? You guys got almost as many lob dunks as all the other playoff teams combined.
It's just connection and chemistry. Just trusting he's going to throw the ball at the right time, in the right area, and having the trust to know that I'm going to jump and go get it, or Gaff is going to jump and go get it. You know, there's been times in practice where we mess up or the timing might be wrong, but we're going to do it again and again and again until we get it right. You know, I feel like that's what we've done throughout this entire season. No matter if that's on the defensive end or the offensive end, we're going to rep it out as many times until we get it correct, until we can perfect it.
You've been with 5 teams in that year. Why do you think everything clicked so well for you this season?
I guess I probably just took full advantage of the opportunity that I had. My coaches and my teammates trusted in me a lot this season, and it just worked out for me.
What has gone on through your mind since this past Thursday when you guys clinched a spot in the NBA Finals? I mean, what have you done these last 3 days?
Nothing has been going through my mind. I'm ready to play. That's all that's going through my mind is I'm ready to play.
You've obviously been in the state before. Got a bigger role this time around. Just what you learned from that first finals appearance that will help you for this.
That every game is tough. You got to go out there with that, I guess, a Game 7 mentality, and you never know what you're going to get from the game. You just got to go out there and give it everything that you have, and just live with the results.
Did you find that the step up from the conference finals to the finals was a step up?
I mean, of course, yeah, this is definitely going to be a lot more intense, but we just got to fight through it and just play a game that we need to play.
Do you relish this opportunity to go up against 2 of the best offensive talents in the league? We're talking about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. What does it mean to you to have this opportunity to be able to go against 2 of the best in the league?
I'm just happy that we still playing basketball. I really don't care who we playing against. I just want to go out there and play, get wins.
Can you go louder, please? Sorry.
Oh, wait.
When you look at the matchup, though, what do you see knowing you're probably going to have to go against one or both of those guys?
I mean, they're good offensive players. Just got to, like I said before, with all the other all the other series, just got to keep them from their spots and try to limit them to the shots that they like to take.
Derek, before the last series, we asked PJ about the underdog mentality. He said we don't really feel like underdogs. You guys are confident. What do you think is like the reason for that mindset? You guys don't feel like underdogs. You feel so confident.
We believe that we could beat anybody. I don't that underdog. I don't like that really. But I mean, everybody gonna keep putting that narrative on us. We go out there and we play the game like we're supposed to play. And I don't really think anybody can beat us in the 7-game series.
besides the storm, obviously.
I mean, it's just guys just enjoying the win together, and just knowing that we got another goal and ahead of us, and just getting 4 more wins. We want that's all we prepared to do, and just ready to get it done.
You guys have more lob dunks than almost all the other teams combined in the playoffs this year. What is it about the lob dunk? Take us through why it's so successful.
We got athletes. We got players that you could just put the ball up in the air and they're gonna go get it no matter where you put it at. It's me, Live, Gav, PJ, Josh whenever we get him, and sometimes Kai when he on the break. We throw Kai some lobs too. But like I said, we got athletes. We just got players that know their role and love to run the floor.
When you look back to when you signed with the Mavs in August and where you are now, has this worked out better than you could have imagined?
Hell yeah, way better. I mean, I could have accepted my player option in Chicago and still been on a team that's not in the playoffs right now. But I mean, I just decided to bet on myself, and I took less money to come here, but the money wasn't the problem. The money wasn't the issue. I just wanted to have the opportunity to be on the floor and to showcase what I'm able to do, and it happened for me.
Free agency usually goes fast. What was it like just to have to wait until August to know where you were playing?
For me, I don't know. It was nerve-wracking, I guess. I just didn't know what was about to happen. Like, I know where I was going. I know who was interested really, because it was just that whole trade with Dame. It just shut everything down for a lot of players. But I talked to Coach Kidd, and he told me once I signed, and if I was to come here, I was gonna have to work for everything, and that's what I did.
Is it kind of funny that the other team you're considering, Boston, is down Jeter facing the finals?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is kind of funny, but I'm just glad I'm glad I made the decision that I did, and I came here.
Sometimes the last minute of playing in Boston, it's atmosphere you play in every arena. Is playing up there any different than the other arena?
Not really. I mean, they're probably a little bit louder, and probably say a couple words that you don't like, but that's every fan. That's every arena. You hear things that you don't like. People say things that they shouldn't say, but I mean, I'm in between those lines. I'm playing a game of basketball. I really don't care what everybody else got to say. That's not in between those lines with me.
Do you beat up with that? 'Cause we know that.
You said what?
Do you beat up with the fans saying?
I find it funny. I mean, I really don't care what people got to say. Whatever people got to say, they got to say it. You can't change what they gonna say. As long as they ain't touching me and putting their hands on me, I ain't got no problem with it. You can say whatever you got to say. It's a free world. We just stay with each other and stay close through the thick and thin. When things going bad, we huddle up and we talk. Whenever team go on a little run, we always telling each other, we taking their punch. Now it's time to give ours. Ain't no need to fold and just shy away from the pressure, because that's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep fighting.
When you think back to the beginning of all this, and that big goofy guy with a name similar to yours walks through the door, and you kind of get to know him, could you see Derrick coming alive like he did this season and accomplishing what he did?
Yeah, I mean, since day one when D-Live came in here, we knew that he could be special, and the kid he came in here 19, running the floor, and he got a lot of energy, rebound the ball at a high level, and I mean, that's all we could expect from him. That's all we could ask, and he did it throughout the whole season for us, and for a rookie, that's great. I mean, I love it, but next year we expect him to step up, and we expect him to step up even more in the finals right now.
Did he surprise maybe everybody the way he's developed?
I mean, probably a little bit of surprise for a couple people, but I mean, the ones that's been in the gym with him every day, and we know what he's capable of. We see it every day, so it's not really a surprise for us.
There are a lot of narratives heading into this finals. What is one thing that you wish media and fans would focus on?
I really don't. That's up to y'all to focus on whatever y'all want to focus on. I know with my team, me and my teammates, we focus on going into Boston, getting one win at a time, and then taking it back home and getting it one win at a time. But I don't know what the media should think about this series, but I know it's going to be a fun one.
Do you think you've made the job for your agent this summer pretty easy?
I would hope so, but nah, I just like I said, job's not done. I still got a little bit more that I can give, and hopefully I can get a little bit more.
Thank you.
I know Marquise doesn't play a lot, but what has he meant to this team, not just on the sideline during the game, but in the locker room?
Everything. I mean, words of wisdom. He's been to the finals. He's won a championship. He actually beat me in the championship when we was in the bubble. So, I mean, he has a lot of wisdom with his game, and he teaches us a whole bunch. I mean, even though he's not out there playing with us, we all see that Keith is well able to be out there playing with us. But, I mean, he just takes that role that he has, and he flourishes with it. He lets everybody know what he sees out there. And, I mean, he's been helping me tremendously this year. Times when I was upset, I was a little bit out of my head. He was the one that brought me back. That's one thing I always thank him for.
Yeah, I think it's a incredible thing to be able to hopefully achieve. But I'm just very thankful for Juan Cuban bringing me on board, and then also being able to work with Nico, and now our new ownership with Patrick. And so again, it's just I'm with a great group of leaders. We're in a great city when you talk about sports. So, and then you talk about our team when you talk about Luka and Kai. And the rest of the group, it's an incredible opportunity, and I'm just very fortunate to be in this seat.
What has Derrick Jones meant to you guys, not just on offense, but defense also?
Yeah, well, I think it's, when you talk about D. Jones, it's not just one thing, it's just his character of who he is. He's about playing the game the right way. He was given a chance, and he took full advantage of it. He never complains. He does his job at a high level, and is really appreciative of the opportunity. And when you talk to him and you get to know him, I mean, he's very consistent with his messaging that he just wants to win and be a part of it. And he's definitely a part of it. He's definitely helped us win. And so we're very lucky to have him, no matter if he was signed first or last when it comes to free agency. He's become a big part of the Mavs culture. You'll talk about defense, but also he's shooting the three at a high clip. His athleticism, and then we joked about it at the beginning of the season that now we can participate in the layup line. We have athletes who can dunk, and he's part of that athletic crew.
13 years ago today, you and your team were on a 22-5 run to tie the NBA Finals at 1 game apiece with Miami. You guys obviously didn't give up that day. What parallels do you see from that team to this team that are similar to what you experienced 13 years ago?
Yeah, I think this team is, about adjustments. It's about learning, from one game or one possession to the next. This team is very steady. We don't get up too high or we don't get down too low. We just love to compete in the competition. And that's not saying that we're going to win every game or win every quarter, but we learn from that and we bounce back, and we put our best foot forward in that next quarter or that next opportunity that we have. And so it's a great group to be around. Seeing that last night at dinner, guys had a really good time, and just, it's really simple. We keep things simple, and they thrive in that situation, and it's fun to be around those guys.
Jason, what has the last 3 days been like since Thursday night, just as far as the coaching prep goes, getting the scouting report out? Like, how big is the scouting report? Do you, I mean, is it an overload? Is it an overload of players, or what do you really try to get across to them, and to just to your staff too, trying to get ready for this?
Yeah, I think for the staff, it can be a little complex, but for the players right now, it's really simple. We've been just really the last couple of days, we've been off. mentally and physically to get ready for Boston. Today was about us. We didn't talk or do anything about Boston. That will start tomorrow. And so really it's been more for the coaches to get ready. But for the players, again, we will keep it simple. And again, in the last 3 series, come up with a game plan and be ready to execute, and then be ready to pivot if something's not working.
What challenges does the Boston team present that probably didn't see against the Clippers, Thunder?
Yeah, they're gonna, they're well coached. Joe is one of the best coaches in this league. You look at, they've been there before. They have talented players, duels, if you want to look at 2, if you want to look at 3, if you want to look at 5. They have quite a few guys who can play the game. They shoot the 3 extremely well. Defensively, they have great hands. They can guard. And so they cause a problem. That's why they're one of the best in the league. And so we got our work cut out, and we'll see what happens.
The hoopla circus of the finals is so much different than normal everyday NBA. So what are you telling these guys? You have so many guys who haven't been through it. What's kind of the messaging to get them through it?
Same messaging as the Western Conference and the first round and second round. It's just basketball. It's just more of you guys that have more opinions, but it's to enjoy it, because you're not guaranteed to be here every year. To understand that there's one goal, and that's to win a championship, and there's only 2 teams left, and we're one of them. And so to take pride in that, but to enjoy it, and to understand it's not going to be easy. This is the hardest thing to do, as much as we said the last round is the hardest thing. So for this, to enjoy this, the atmosphere, to enjoy the media, the attention, and to be ready to do your job, and that's to find a way to win on the road.
Are you going to be able to enjoy this?
I've been enjoying it, can't you tell?
Speaking of us guys and gals, April of last year, you had to answer some pretty tough questions from us for a variety of reasons. Is there any personal vindication for you in this run?
No, you guys ask all the tough questions. These are tough questions. No, everybody has their right to their opinion. That's fair, and that's just, you guys are doing your job. As the head coach of the Mavs, I'm doing my job. There were tough questions last year, tough questions that will come from this series. I will give you the answer. Some will like it, some will not. But my job is to help these young men get paid, and also to find a way to win a championship. And I've done that since I was a player, and since I've been a coach. There's a lot of people who have gotten paid from just listening to what I've asked them to do as a player, and then also as a coach. So now we have an opportunity to win a championship. 2 out of the 3 years we've gone to the Western Conference Finals. Some would say that's pretty cool. Some will say that that's failure, but that's just the way it goes. You're not going to make everybody happy, but I know how to win. I've done that since elementary school to the highest level. I've won gold medals. I've won championships, and so and I've won a championship as a coach, assistant coach. And so now I get the opportunity to do it, hopefully, as a head coach.
Jason, it's very rare that a team missed the playoffs one year, and the very next season get to the NBA Finals. What does that mean to you if you guys were able to accomplish that?
We had a plan. You guys just didn't know it. Yeah, we got D-Live and Omax. It's all right to fail. I said that before. It's how you fail. And we were in the lottery, and we got a piece that was huge in D-Live. And then we actually get another piece in Omax. And so it's all right. You can't win a championship every year. But how do you build a championship organization? Dallas hasn't been in that situation in a long time. And Nico and Patrick are doing that, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. But again, the first year I was here, we went to the Western Conference Finals. Hadn't been there in a long, long time, but we acted like we were there every year, but we weren't. But now we're starting to build something, and it's kind of fun to be a part of. And that doesn't mean you're going to win a championship every year, but if you can participate and play for one, that's fun. And that's what we're trying to build here.
You played Boston twice this year. Did you put any stock in any one of those games at all? In the spring, or the totally different circumstances?
Yeah, you definitely will watch them and see what they've done against us and what we've done to have success, and what didn't work. But just like I watched the preseason games of when we were in Abu Dhabi against Minnesota, two different teams. I thought Minnesota was really, really good then. I thought we were in a little trouble. But when you look at, with D Live in Minnesota and Abu Dhabi and the growth that he had, and so the teams are different. Both teams have grown up. Both teams are playing great basketball at this point. So, but we will look at the tape and see what success they had against our defense, and if we had any success against their defense, and we'll try to see if we can get to that more than they can.
You're the guy who sits in that chair and gets the accolades and also the arrows.
What accolades?
Well,
I'm just joking.
But you get a contract. So, but at the trade deadline, you guys made your team in a large way.
Yeah.
Changed the way you guys play. I wonder, in terms of the whole coaching staff working together, how much revamping was actually done? How much of that was, how difficult was that, and how much credit should your staff be getting on as well?
Yeah, I think the staff should get a lot of credit, because they have worked extremely hard this year. We joked about it early in the season. Our defense was our offense. It was. We were playing offense at a high level, and we were scoring a lot of points. And then we made a roster change. The league made a roster change. Physicality is part of it, and we adapted to that, and we embraced the physical play, and we used it to our advantage, and that helped us. And so my staff works extremely hard, but again, they love coaching. They love improving the young players. The development sometimes will go unnoticed, but they spend a lot of hours in the gym and helping these young guys. When you look at Hardy, Omax, Lively, being able to work, and then there's a trust factor that those guys have with the staff, that they trust what they're selling, because they're doing it at a very high level.
Jason, you mentioned Lively a few times. How has his development and impact throughout the course of the season? It seems like he's peaking right now. How is that compared to what maybe your reasonable expectations were when you drafted him? In a lot of it, kind of as a project at that point.
Yeah, I think when we got Lively, we felt that it was going to, fill one of the holes that Luka was looking for. A vertical guy. Had some similarities to Tyson when you talk, not just his physical or his build, but his voice. As a rookie, he talked a little bit more than normal, and so you could see the future of him being the anchor of the defense. The future just happened to come a lot faster after Abu Dhabi and Madrid. You could see that he wanted to be the sponge. He wanted that responsibility, and sometimes young players will shy away from that, but he ran to it, and to be able to rim run. There's no plays called for him. He benefits from Luka and Kai getting downhill, and then on the defensive end, or take that back, offensively, missed shots, he's gotten some big offensive rebounds for us throughout the season. And so his growth of offense, understanding, sometimes in AAU basketball, if a play isn't ran for you, you go into a different team. But for him, he just plays his role, does his job at a high level. And then defensively, being able to switch, guard on the perimeter, then also protect the rim. And then, as we've always talked about, the only way you can have a good defense is by rebounding the ball, and he does that for us. And so I joked about, Abu Dhabi trip. It was an eye-opener for him going against Gobert and Towns and Reed. But you can see from that point to where he is today, there was a big jump, and we're happy that he made that jump.
Jason, I know
You mentioned just the way that the officiating changed, right?
Yep.
And different physicality. How have you guys been able to take advantage of that, and how have you seen that? Or is it even cranked up a little bit more in the playoffs in terms of how the game is being officiated or not being officiated?
I mean, the first 3 or 4 minutes, you got to figure out, what's being called, and then pivot from there. But the physicality, definitely, I think, after All-Star break, definitely was a little bit more of the touch foul went away. The defense had a fighting chance, and I think that's what the league was looking for, was not the score to be 150 to 160. But that it was a little bit more competitive, and that the defense did have a chance to guard the offensive player, and I think that's where the physicality came back into play.
Coach Kidd with Omax, he was on the practice floor today. Did he do everything, and could you see a return for him coming soon?
Omax is working back from his injury. He did not participate in our practice. He did everything individually, but he's working extremely hard. And I don't know if he's going to participate in this finals, but he's doing better, and so we'll see.
Dereck Lively, you brought up the switching. Where did that trust come from? How did you develop that trust that he was able and capable to switch on to smaller guys? Something that for a lot of the regular season you were doing, you weren't asking him to do very often.
Yeah, we had to fail first, and then to help him to understand what the smalls were going to try to do to him. And the coaching staff did a great job with that, and even though he's not officially on the coaching staff, but Tyson has done an incredible job with him. And so understanding Tyson's played in this league, came in as a 3, finished as a center. And so to understand what the smalls are going to try to do to you, I thought Tyson has done a really good job with him.
Jason, I know Marquise doesn't play a lot. What kind of impact has he had on your team on the sideline during the game and also in the locker room?
Yeah, I think when you talk about Smooth, I think he's done an incredible job. I think I've mentioned it before. If I had a vote, I know it would go between Luka and Kai. It would be split as the MVP, but the one who has really been great for us as the MVP has been Smooth. A lot of times coaches will always say the guys who score or play the most minutes or have the impact on the stat line, but Smooth has been incredible for us in the locker room, and we need more vets to help these younger kids understand how to be successful, not just on the floor but off the floor too.
You and him were together with the Lakers when they won the title in the bubble in 2020. Did you see that kind of impact that he had?
Yes, that's why he's here.
Jason, you've reiterated just since you've been in Dallas, we can't take Luka for granted in this game. Playoffs, he's leading almost every single category. What have you seen from his level of play?
Yeah, and I would continue to say that you can't take someone who's so great for granted. A lot of times that's what we do. You pencil him in for a triple-double, but what he has done with his physical, what he's going through physically, he comes to work. He knows that he's on the biggest stage. He loves the big stage, and he wants to win. And so for him to fight through his injuries to get us to the finals has been incredible. We get a couple days here for him to catch his breath mentally and physically because it doesn't get any easier. But again, what he has done is shown that he's one of the best players in the world.
And just him as a new dad, have you seen his perspective change any this season?
His softer side, Oh, he understands what a nap is or what sleep is. But yes, I think he doesn't take for granted being able to take a nap. But I think anytime you have a newborn that comes into your life, it puts things in perspective. And he's a very humble kid. When you talk about Luka and about Sharon, I think one of the things that we'll see that was caught on camera is him giving the MVP, Western Conference MVP to D Live, and I think that message alone, he understands how important D Live is to this team, and I think he was probably kidding but also serious because of the importance of what D Live brings to us, and this is someone that comes off the bench, and so, but that's who Luka is. He's very humble. And appreciative, but I think also newborn, you get to see a little softer side of him too.
Coach, going off that, you've seen stars excel in the playoffs. You've seen stars struggle in the playoffs. What is it about Luka that you've seen that makes him so focused and able to play well in the big moment?
That's a good question. I think it goes back to him when at Real Madrid. Just being on the biggest stage at the age of 15 or 16 years old. I know there's a clip of him out there that he's playing against Russ. He's guarding Russ, gets Russ to shoot a jump shot. So that let us know that he can't play defense. But it's kind of cool that he's been on this stage as a teenager or as an older teenager, and he has always adapted, or he's been able to perform at the highest level, and for that he can draw on those experiences and get his game to that level. When you saw Game 5, it was very similar to Game 7 in Phoenix. He didn't let those fans get a chance to cheer. He wanted to end the game, and he did in that first quarter. And so, again, he is special. He's one of the best players in the world, and again, he loves the competition.
What do you mean? It was just a chapter in my life, that I got to enjoy, for the most part. We had a great opportunity to do some special things, but it was cut short just based off personal reasons on my end. And, but one thing that I look back on my time in Boston, I've said this over the past few years, but somehow it gets tossed under the rug. But, the greatest thing I learned from Boston was just being able to manage not only my emotions, but just what's going on a day-to-day basis of being a leader of a team or being one of the leaders and having young guys around you that have their own goals. But you have to learn how to put the big picture first. And, leaving those guys, JT and JB, and, some of the guys that are still remaining on that team like Al Horford or, Marcus Smart got traded away. We had a great time to bond, a great time to go through some tough times, not just on the court, but I know in due time, a lot of that full story will come out and when it's appropriate. But I had a great time in Boston, just being able to learn and, grow as a person. They've improved tremendously. They've made a few All-Star games since I left, ECF, MVPs. So I'm nothing short of proud of those guys for what they've been able to do. Left a lot of good wisdom with them. Try to give as much advice, while I was there, and also when I went to Brooklyn and came to Dallas, just being able to extend a brother-to-brother relationship with them, let them know I have their back no matter what. This basketball stuff is going to be competitive no matter what. We're going to go at each other, but getting to know them as human beings, they're really special people alongside other people that I got a chance to know in that Boston organization. I just think moving on to the next thing, just learn how to move on and let go of the past. It could cripple you if you allow it to, because I've been bombarded with Boston questions since I left and people trying to figure out what actually happened. But again, I think the full story will come out probably when I'm retired or when it's appropriate, like I said. You know, because I didn't mind after a few years taking the brunt of the blame. You know, one of the best players in the world, so I know it comes with that fair criticism. You know, but it's just a little bit more grace could have been extended my way, especially what I was dealing with during that time as a human being. I know sometimes in sports it's literally about the end goal and result and what you accomplish, and that's one thing. But we're still human at the end of the day, and I wasn't my best self during that time. So when I look back on it, I just see it as a time where I learned how to let go of things and learned how to talk through my emotions. You know, I came into the league at 19 years old, not knowing how to be a young man as of yet, because this whole lifestyle was thrown at me. I was expected to do wondrous things, but I just wanted to continue to develop as a human being. And once I put that first, then you know, you see me flourishing now. So it feels good.
You talked a lot about kind of the spiritual journey you've been on, and you get to this point of happiness, protecting your peace. There are people in Boston who don't let go of the past, and you kind of know what's going to come your way in terms of animosity from the fan base. How do you approach that? How do you handle that? You know, going on in this stage.
I think I'm better at consolidating kind of the emotions now, or being aware of what it's going to be like. You know, we call it animosity, we call it hate, we call it, you know, it's going to be hell in Boston. I mean, there are real live circumstances going on in the world that are bigger than the basketball kind of competitive side of things and answering those questions. But I will say, you know, last time in Boston, I don't think that was the best. You know, not this regular season, but when we played in the playoffs and everyone saw me flip off the birds and kind of lose my shit a little bit. That wasn't a great reflection of who I am and how I like to compete on a high level. You know, it wasn't a great reflection on my end towards the next generation on what it means to control your emotions in that type of environment, no matter what people are yelling at you. You know, I'm built for these moments to be able to handle circumstances like that. And I've been able to grow since then. So, of course, it's going to be a hectic environment, but I'm looking forward to it. And I see it as a healthy relationship to have with the fans. You know, I almost think about Gladiator, just win the crowd over. You know, it's good to hear the TD Garden silent when you're playing well. They still respect great basketball. So regardless of, you know, the attention that's being paid to what it's going to be like on my end, I have a group to lead that's going to be looking to me for a voice of peace and to be able to control what I can control and also help them through it. You know, so I'll take the brunt of it, of all the yells and stuff like that and all the remarks, but I've been able to grow since then and acknowledge that, you know, I just can handle things better, especially when I want to put majority of my energy towards playing well. I can't just be getting into it with fans like that, even though it may be fun at times, but it's a waste of energy, it's a waste of my time, and it's also a waste of my talent trying to answer questions from the past that people have. And you know, people are going to bring up the record and all the extra stuff. Again, there's days, there's idle time in between. So you see the media pundits doing their normal thing. It's cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the challenge on the court against the Boston Celtics and being able to lead my guys.
Kyrie.
Talked about, but what role does Dallas play in it? You know, coming here, what about this atmosphere environment has helped it continue?
What do you mean, like in comparison to what? Are you comparing to anything, or are you just asking me just what about Dallas?
Yeah, not comparing, just your emotional journey. You talked a lot about this. Coming to Dallas, what
Yeah.
this atmosphere, what this environment, this franchise,
Yeah.
you know, how did that allow you?
I don't want to mistake my words when I say emotional journey. It's just part of being human, and I know we throw these words out in the media when we're talking very conversational like this. You know, I think what I mean, I'll explain. You know, just the point that I'm at now is in my life. I have kids, I have a wife, I have responsibilities that are bigger than the game of basketball. So it's easy to put the game of basketball in perspective. When I was a little bit younger, I wanted to strive to be one of the best in the world, and that's all I thought about every single day. And that's where I had all my eggs in the basket. So there was no, you know, normal life outside the game of basketball other than doing what young NBA players do, which is getting into some stuff they shouldn't be getting into and being around people that don't necessarily reflect the moral values that you want to have embodying as a person. So, and you know, I'm just speaking for myself, but I think it spills over to my peers too. But yeah, coming to Dallas, just being around J Kidd, somebody who also can relate to me about being imperfect and having mistakes in their life and being able to redeem themselves and persevere and still answer to the naysayers. I know it's not easy for him. I know it's not easy for Luka. Dealing with things throughout his life, being over in another country, trying to lead a franchise. So, and I could go down the list of every person that's dealing with something personal where they pushed it, to the side for the time being to sacrifice for the team to win. And I'm just right alongside that. And that's what Dallas has done for me, is just put the main thing in front of me, allow the big picture to manifest, and have fun doing it in the process. And being around some guys that actually, enjoy being honest about how they feel. And this new generation, as we talk about, they have a different communication pattern. So once you figure that out, they'll be loyal to you. You'll be loyal to them, and it's a great relationship. And that's what I'm looking forward to as I continue to grow in the league, is, talking about this refreshing start I've had in Dallas, because it's given me a chance to grow as a person and a man and as a father and as a brother. And then the added bonus is me getting better as a basketball player. So,
Kyrie.
I mean, we're all peers to a certain degree. I just think, we have this idea that once you get over 30, you're like, you don't talk the same language as the youngins. But I think with Luka, he is a lot easier to talk to, just because he's still new to America. He's still new to some of the nuances, and I think he really has a great grasp on who he is, since he's come over from overseas. So I try to just talk to him about normal things as everybody else, but also there's a little bit of a joy and a happiness to just what we get to do every single day, and putting that in perspective. I mean, especially from where we come from, and you understand our stories and how hard we had to work to get here.
Kyrie, over here to your left, thank you for your time, first of all. And my question for you is, yesterday Jason Kidd talked about how steady this team is, not getting too high, not getting too low. When you think about how basketball teaches you life lessons, how valuable has that been for you throughout your career?
Yeah, like I talked about it, I think a few weeks ago, just how basketball, not only what it means to the world, but to my community, to my culture, to be able to go out and exercise, be able to go out and learn what it means to be on a team, to persevere through a lot of the overt racism and still have something to show for yourself and be proud of. I represent so many walks of life, so many different religions, so many different cultures that have supported me. So I try to put basketball, like I said, in that perspective, but I won't deny that it is a connector, it is a unifier. It brings so many different people to the table that have something to say because they love the game of basketball, or they love to criticize it, or they love to be a part of the culture. I mean, it's a $1 trillion industry as well. So, there's a lot of people making some money from it that I also like to pay my respects to, because they have their job in this too. And it helps me, relate to all those that are part of this and love it for the right reason. So that's where I feel like I'm at a place in my life where I'm connecting to people because they love the sport, they love the craft, but also they have a journey to share about how the craft has changed their life and how they're continuing to spread positivity through their messaging. So that's the most important thing I like to put in perspective throughout all this. So those life lessons are just centered around just being a good person, having integrity, being honest, and rising out of the ashes like a phoenix. Like I said, I want the next generation to use me as an example of what not everyone, but what some people tried to do to destroy my confidence, destroy my character, destroy who I was, and it didn't work. It failed miserably, and I'm grateful that I'm still here standing because I'm not alone anymore, just with the metaphorical sense, just having people there to love you unconditionally, so it's good.
Kyrie, I have a two-part question. First of all, how are your emotions different heading into this NBA Finals than in the past NBA Finals you've played in? And secondly, what's been your advice to some of the younger guys about the NBA Finals?
My advice to the younger guys is to enjoy every single moment and, just don't allow any psychological media wars to happen where we get into words and mincing stuff, and don't allow anyone to distract us or divide us. This is going to be an international finals. Everybody's going to be watching. Every finals is international, but the world is watching. So, any little thing that you do, somebody's waiting to pick up. So we just have to find a consistent message and stick to it. And this is just business. What was your first question? Oh yeah, I'm healthy, man. I don't have 2 screws in my knee. Going into it, I'm not laboring secretly, or I'm not taking any antibiotics I'm not supposed to, or just any painkillers I'm not supposed to, and that's all part of the sport. but it is an unhealthy relationship to have with it when you're laboring and you're trying to fix yourself through other mediums that are unnatural. So it just feels good to be healthy, and have a solid grounding about myself going into it, and it's just a little bit longer that we got to hold on to playing hard and doing the little things in order to get us this championship.
We've seen as you go around the league that you have friends on other teams, but you seem to have more of them on the Celtics, like Jalen wearing your shoes All-Star Weekend. Mm-hmm. How much have you been communicating with those guys since you both figured out you playing each other? And how will that dynamic be playing against friends, not just a couple friends, but a lot of friends?
Yeah, I think we've pretty much put it to bed that I don't think a lot of my teammates hate me. My former teammates hate me. I don't know, kind of what was being shared intimately with some of the media personnel that was, reporting over the past few years. I'm just talking about when I first left Boston. I've embraced all those guys. So it's been the same. I've taken them under my wing in a very different way, and they've allowed me to do that while also becoming who they are. I told them from day one when I first met them that I want to see them be better than me, and in order to do that, you have to give them secrets of the game. You have to give them, mental, secrets as well to help become a better player. I think those guys were ultra talented. JT, JB, ultra talented already. But just like myself, they were learning how to win. They were learning how to selflessly approach the game every single day. And that led us to part of our closeness in our relationship. But I think the other side is we had some real life circumstances that we connected to that, again, no one knows about. And that's most important than just trying to display it to the media or to everyone in the world or the fans that, hey, we're still close and we still are brothers. It's going to be adversarial on the court. It's going to be very competitive. But off the court, I mean, we know we know each other's families. And that's the type of relationship I've always wanted outside of the game of basketball, is to be able to have that balance, to compete with people on the court, but also treat them like my brothers and be there for them and whatever they need.
Did they reach out right away when you guys clinched?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't expect them to. I wasn't reaching out to them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I don't know how the relationship
in this
is.
basketball sphere, there is still some competition that we like to have that's healthy. But then outsiders, I mean, of course, those are my brothers. But we're both going after the same goal, so we should be that way when we are on our journeys. So,
Kyrie, appreciate your time and just thoughtful answers here. You had one of the opportunities to just have such a great mind as your friend and mentor, and it's the late, great Kobe Bryant. And you shared, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I had that type of mentorship relationship with him where I was able to ask him about anything. Mm-hmm. He was just as easy to approach with the questions about what goes on in the day-to-day, chasing something that's bigger than yourself. Where, at this point in your career, how much has his relationship with you had an impact on just how to handle this situation and just carrying yourself, being that leader in the locker room and that veteran presence that you've been, and just the positivity that you've had in Dallas?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone in here has ever lost a mentor or lost someone that's a little bit older than them that meant something to them. Even if you guys didn't talk every day, there was still that connection that they were always going to be there for you. And it wasn't just him, it was his family as well. They supported me unconditionally, and I miss him every single day, just alongside the rest of the world and all the Kobe supporters around the world, because he held such a big presence, and he knew what his power was. He knew what his superpowers were, and they weren't on the court all the time. They were his ability to approach life and how he inspired you to continue to do extra even when you got tired. And I think his life lessons transcended basketball or any sport or any entertainment business. It really helped and sparked the new brains for this next generation to carry the torch. And that's what I felt like he was teaching me, was to be able to carry the torch and also know how to pass it along. Obviously along that journey, he's won a few championships that I'm still enamored with, still chasing to a certain degree. I do want to be able to sit at that table to say that I have multiple championships and I'm a multiple champion in the best league in the world. But I think in the small dose of truth, he always reminds me to enjoy the journey. The journey is the reward, and put it in perspective. There are billions of people that are going to love you. There are billions of people that are not going to love you. So I think you should make the right choice to stick to your guns and go with the people that support you through and through, and make them proud and make yourself proud. So every day he walks with me in spirit, and I feel his presence every day. And I'm just grateful that I got a chance to get to know somebody like that, and I got a chance to challenge somebody like that, the one-on-one, and just to pick his brain and just understand that there are bigger things than just the game of basketball, like women empowerment, and also doing the little things that a lot of people don't see, meaning helping the world selflessly. So I could go on and on about this, but he helped out a lot of people that no one really knows about, and he did things without anyone's praise. So I try to follow in that same lineage and create my own path, and create my own formula to success while also commemorating his formula that he gave me. Yep, got you guys. Appreciate it. See you in Boston.
Even with everybody's got big hopes and dreams, and I'm sure when the trade happened, you had those emotions. But is part of you just a little surprised that you're still here?
No, not at all. I think our group of guys from day one since I've been here have been a helping hand for me, just helping me in any way they can on the court, off the court as well. So just a group of guys that we have, nothing surprised me, and I'm just happy that we're still here.
Whether it's Tatum or Brown or whoever, what kind of battle are you expecting?
It's going to be a dogfight at the end of the day. We're playing for all the marbles. So at the end of the day, this is everybody's goal, and everybody's going to play hard each and every possession, and I just can't wait.
In what ways has Kyrie helped you on and off the court since you arrived?
Just being able to be the vocal leader. He's been in every position when it comes to the NBA. Obviously, he's an icon. So, everybody looks up to him, and everybody listens when he talks. So, just him, just being able to calm everybody down and just be a great leader and a great vet. I think it's been great for all of us.
What kind of reception do you think he's going to get in Boston?
I don't know. I don't really care, honestly. For us, it's all about sticking together and then playing our game. At the end of the day, we're going to be confident and poised and ready for the moment.
This is the first.
You played with and against Luka. I'm sure you've heard this. He's not very athletic. It's kind of a common thing. What do you say with that? Is he or is he not?
I think he is. He's out there with us at the end of the day. So, and he's holding his own. He's doing what he's doing. So, it's not about who can jump the highest or run the fastest. It's about putting the ball in the basket, and he does that at a very high level.
This is the first playoff journey of your NBA career. When you're just shoot around in the locker room, whatever it may be, what do you think about this group is so different than others of which you've been a part?
I think everybody seizes the moment, and everybody's ready in each and every aspect. We do a lot of film, do a lot of things to prepare. Everybody's serious about it. We're very professional when it comes to everything, and everybody holds everybody accountable. So we don't really, I say we don't really like mistakes, obviously, but we don't really make too many of them. So everybody's accountable and everybody's locked into what we're supposed to do.
Do you think it helps you not take this opportunity for granted when it took a while to get here and now this ride that it's been?
Definitely. Being in the finals is not guaranteed. Being in the playoffs is not guaranteed. So for me, I had an opportunity to watch for 4 years, and just being here, it means the most. Just being able to be here and each and every day just continuing to play, continuing to have our season going. Everybody wishes to be here, and everybody wants to be here as a player.
I think it's been basically a month since Stand on Your Business post. Has it slowed down at all? Because I don't see it slowing down.
No, not at all. I've had a lot of love. A lot of T-shirts have been made. A lot of people ask me for pictures, and everybody's doing the pose. So every time somebody sees me, they tell me to do it, and they either just say, they're able to say, "Hey, PJ," or they just say, "Standing on business." So it's definitely fun, and I'm definitely glad to be able to get the fans involved with it too.
Are you making any money off that?
No.
PJ, follow up on that, and thank you for your time. Western Conference Finals, the celebration, it seemed like you did that pose during the whole time. Was that intentional? Was that what you were trying to do?
Yeah, definitely. I think everybody's excited. Everybody was doing all types of different poses. So for me, I just wanted to take a little picture and post it for everybody to see. So I think for us, it was just excitement in the moment, and everybody's just happy, obviously.
Yeah, and you were one of the first ones to kind of go live in the locker room on Instagram. Just talk about what that locker room was like and just kind of that experience for you and Daniel Gafford. I mean, you've posted from the bottom now to the top. Just what was that like?
I'm pretty sure he didn't expect to be here just like I did. And so for me, it was just a lot of emotions, obviously, coming from Charlotte and not really winning a lot of games to being in the finals. So in a matter of months. So I think it's a quick turnaround, obviously, for both of us. And we're just extremely grateful, and we're not taking anything for granted.
How good of a coaching job has JP done this postseason in your mind?
Great. I don't think he gets enough credit. He makes sure we're well prepared for everything, any outcome, and he's doing a great job each and every day. And I'm happy to have him here.
Speaking of credit, what about Nico? I mean, he brought you in, Gafford and D. Jones, and also re-signed Kyrie within the last year.
He was doing his job at a very high level. So Nico's a great guy. I've been knowing Nico since high school. So just when I got here, it was all family atmosphere, and I felt comfortable being able to talk to him about anything. So he makes all of us feel comfortable, and he's doing a great job of that too.
PJ, over here to your left, thank you for your time today, much appreciated. You talked about how much your dad has meant to you along this journey. You have young boys, I know they're still on the younger side, but what does it mean for you to have the opportunity to lead them as your dad has done for you?
It means everything. Just being a dad, I think it made me more mature and made me grow up a little more. So just having them watching my every move, it just makes me smile, and just knowing sometimes it's not about me, it's about them. So just trying to lead them in a great direction, and hopefully have them do anything they want to do, and I'm just going to be here supporting them.
Do you hear yourself repeating anything that your dad told you with their age to them now? You sound like your dad to yourself.
Not yet, but I feel like it's definitely coming. Once they get a little older and start playing sports and stuff, I can definitely see it, for sure.
You guys are stuck now on a pretty long break. How do you think that's going to affect what we see maybe in the first half on Thursday night?
I'm not sure. I think it is a long break at the end of the day, but I think everybody's prepared and everybody's focused. This is the biggest stage in basketball, so everybody's going to come out and ready to play and prepare for everything they have.
PJ, how do you guys like Coach Kidd and Kyrie around the team? How important is it to have guys like that who've been in championships, won championships? Have they given any advice to you guys about the immediate finals yet?
I think it's very important. Obviously, people who've been there and actually won. So, yeah, I mean, they told us everything. It's going to be a lot of media. It's going to be a lot of different things we have to do. But at the end of the day, we have to stay together and stay poised, and just know we're there for a reason. And we still got 4 more games to go.
It's sometimes, it takes time for things to click and team chemistry to be there, but that doesn't really seem to be the case. After the trade deadline, there was like an immediate shift. It's almost like the puzzle piece was kind of fitting into place. So from your perspective, just talk about how fast this team has built this team chemistry and just the bond that you guys share, because it's pretty remarkable that it was in such a short span of time.
I think we have a group chat, and we talk to each other a lot. We hang out a lot. I think pretty much everybody's like connected, I would say. And when we're on the court, it just feels like we're all one, and we don't really get mad at each other. We hold everybody accountable. Everybody will talk to everybody, and everybody just plays their role at a great level, at a high level, and nobody's mad about anything. And we just all come out and we have the same goal each and every night.
Jason said there was a team dinner a couple nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like ordinarily, maybe you guys could have used a break from each other. How'd that team dinner come about?
It was great. They told us we had a team dinner, and everybody showed up, and everybody was happy to see each other. Obviously, still celebrating, and it was a great dinner. We had a lot of fun.
You picked up the bill?
No, not at all.
PJ, because this is for all the marbles, can you talk about the balance in trying not to do too much, but knowing there's a lot at stake?
I think obviously there is a lot at stake, but for us, we have to do the same thing that got us here, and that's play great basketball. So we can't, obviously, the light's going to be bright. We can't focus on that. At the end of the day, we focusing on basketball, matchups, and stuff like that. So, like I said, Kyrie's done a great job of keeping us poised and keeping us ready. So I'm excited, and I can't wait.
Trade brought you home, then the post thing happens, and now you're going to the finals with your hometown team. Has there been a moment in the last couple of days when you kind of looked around and said, it's all really out there?
Not yet, because the goal's still out there. We still have to win 4 games, but I've tried to stay locked in and try not to do all that yet. So I'm obviously excited to be here, excited for the moment, but the job's not finished, and we still have to win 4 games.
Since this is your home, are they extra distracted here as opposed to in Charlotte?
I don't really get out the house much, so I mean, the only things distracting me is my kids, my wife, and my family. So I wouldn't even call them distractions, but no, not at all. I've just been comfortable here. I pretty much know a lot of people here, know a lot of food places, so I'm just comfortable.
There's been a lot of discussion about Kyrie and Luka and their status as one of the all-time best backcourts, especially offensively. You know what they can do. Why do you think they've been able to work so well together?
They play off each other at a very high level. They both can do pretty much everything on the court. So, and they both bring so much attention to themselves that it makes the game a lot easier for the other one. So, they pretty much do everything offensively at an elite level. So it's hard to guard a one-on-one, and they just whatever the defense gives them, they take and they make the game easy.
You were 12, I think, when the Mavs won title, and obviously your emotional investment in this series is much different than back then. What do you remember about your perspective as a kid during that time in Dallas?
I used to come to a lot of those games growing up, especially that year. One of my dad's friends had season tickets, and he would always ask us if we wanted to go. So we were pretty much, I don't remember exactly where I was sitting, but I know the Maniacs were not too far behind me. So I was definitely invested to that team, and it was definitely great seeing them win a championship. And obviously, it's kind of full circle for me having kid coaching me and being here in Dallas, and obviously continuing for a title. So I just think it's great, and as a kid, I never thought I would be in that position that I'm in now.
I was going to ask that as a follow-up. You never, in your mind, thought one day I could be on the court?
No, I mean, I never thought, obviously, I'd be here in Dallas in the finals, but it's just a blessing. I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm just happy, honestly.